YouTube? Okay, so it's bad news, very bad news. Basically the VFR800 is dead, completely dead. It will not run. If you've been following my channel, you'll probably already know that it failed its MOT on the front calipers and the exhaust headers, and I replaced the front calipers and the exhaust headers, and then since then it's just not been running, and I can't get anything to, I basically just can't get it to run. I've spent a lot of time on it at this stage, like probably several days. Basically what's happening is the fuel pump is not running. Okay, so these are fuel injected, so when you turn the key you're supposed to hear the fuel pump. This makes like a kind of whining sound and you hear it from down in the tank. Okay, so if I turn the key on now, absolutely nothing. Okay, so the fuel pump's not running. Right, the fuel pump is under here. Okay, that's basically, it's inside the tank, and it does actually run. If you connect it directly to the battery, it will run. Okay, so it's not the pump itself that's faulty. Okay, I've done all the obvious stuff. I've tried bypassing the earth. It's not an earth problem. It's a problem with the positive circuit, which is not good because basically that's the more complicated circuit. See the green wire, that's earth, and basically that just goes onto the chassis. So there's nothing too complicated about that. The brown wire is the positive wire, and it's just not getting juice through. So I've kind of been around the houses with troubleshooting it. I've replaced all sorts of relays. See, you've got this relay here, which has got brown and black and white and what have you going into it, and that one, actually the brown wire on that goes to the pump. So I've bypassed all these wires and I can't work out which. I've not been able to find any wire that's faulty. I've put crimped new connectors on there, got rid of the old block connector because the connectors were corroded. I crimped new ones on and put on a new relay. It still doesn't work. There's another relay here somewhere. Where is it? I don't know, it's here somewhere. There it is. See if I can pull that out and we can have a look at that. So this is another relay that we replaced. It's kind of looking scruffy now, but it was brand new relay. I've crimped new connectors on there. In fact, actually I think it was that one that I re-crimped all or most of the connectors because they were quite badly corroded. I think that one, I just did one or two of the connectors because they weren't great, but most of them I think I left, and that one, I don't know, I can't remember. I think I maybe crimped all of those or most of them. But that's a new relay, and I've also checked, bypassed all this wiring, the black and white wiring and everything. I've bypassed every kind of circuit, referencing the Haynes manual to do so, and I've also checked all of the fuses. This is the fuse box here, so the fuses are okay. I've also replaced the starter relay, which you can see there. I've replaced both main fuses. There are two main fuses on the VFR. That's one of them. I think they call that one fuse B, and then there's fuse A. Well, actually I didn't replace that, but I've replaced the relay, and the relay was new and had a new fuse in it, so effectively I have replaced that at the same time as the relay. So pretty much every fuse has either been checked or replaced. I pulled out I disconnected the ECU. This is the ECU here. This controls the injection, the fuel system, and basically the engine management. It just kind of runs the whole show, sort of thing. As you can see, there's a huge number of wires going in there. It's probably about, I don't know, 20 or 30 wires or something like that. So I disconnected both of these plugs, and I sprayed the pins and the female side with switch cleaner, and then plugged it back in again. Didn't make any difference. It's not helped at all. So that's that I've tried. What else have I tried? I'm trying to think. I've been continuously swapping batteries, trickle charging the battery, putting a new battery in, doing a bit more troubleshooting. When that battery's flat, then I'll go and bring out another battery that I've just charged, and then so I've taken all the bodywork off, as you can see, basically because I've had to, because I've needed to access stuff. Oh yeah, the other thing I tried was the coils. See this is one of the ignition coils here. So check these connections, reseated them. Same with the one on the other side. This bike, the VFR, actually has 4 coils, one per spark plug. It's not a redundant spark system like the CBRs. So check those, reseated those, and the same with the ones inside. You've got 2 coils. Where are they? 2 coils down there, and I checked the connections and reseated them, and they all look really clean and fine. Don't see any problem there, and the wiring all looks fine. Don't see any kind of broken wires or anything corroded or anything like that. Then we've got the bank angle sensor here. Now, when I took the front fairing off, I noticed that one of the screws is missing from the bank angle sensor, which is this thing here. And basically, what this does is, if you crash the bike and the bike's over on its side, it cuts the engine out and stops the fuel injection from shooting fuel out all over the place, which would be a safety risk, obviously. So that's the bank angle sensor. So I noticed that it's free on one side, which obviously is not a good thing, but what I did was I held it level like that and turned the key again, and it still doesn't work. So I thought maybe that could be faulty, so what I did is unplugged it. That's the plug there. Had a look at the pins. The pins look alright, look quite clean, not corroded or anything. So what I did was I made up this little bypass wire. Basically it's 2 wires spliced into one connector, and that one connector I've plugged into the earth, which is the green wire there, and I plugged the other 2, that one and that one, I plugged into the black and white and into the red and orange, and I turned the key, and again it's still not doing it. Also check the starter switch. This is the starter. See if you trace the wiring from the, so you've got the switch gear here, right? So you've got the engine kill switch and the starter button. So if you trace these sheathed wires from that, it goes down around the forks like that. It goes up here, and this is the connector here, okay? So I pulled this connector apart. I'll just do it again just so you can see. Let's see if I can manage to do this with one hand. Is it going to go? Not sure. Quite hard to get apart these. I can't get it apart, but basically I did pull it apart. Checked all the pins are all good, all clean, no corrosion or anything. None of the wires seem to be broken, all the wires seem to be connected. So I've kind of like pretty much exhausted everything that I can think of that could be causing the problem. I can't really think what else. You know, fuses, relays, wiring, ECU pins. Oh yeah, the earth connection. That was the other thing. That's there. I don't know if you can see, but there's like a lug on the chassis there, and you've got the earth connection, the loom just bolts straight onto the chassis there, and you've got another one right next to it, which is the battery negative lead, and that just goes straight up to the battery. So at this stage I've checked fuses, bypassed all the circuits, replaced all the relevant relays, checked the earth, replaced the battery and charged it several times, cleaned the ECU pins, crimped a whole lot of new connectors that were a bit corroded, checked loads of block connectors, checked the bank angle sensor, bypassed that, checked the connections to the ignition coils, all of them, checked the wiring to the switch, to the starter switch and the stop switch. So I've pretty much exhausted my troubleshooting. I can't really think of anything else that I can try. The only thing that I can try is replacing the ECU, and luckily I did manage to find an ECU for 30 quid on eBay, which is amazingly cheap, because normally they're sort of in the region of maybe 150 to 200, which I would have been reluctant to spend that, because you know it's kind of potentially more money down the drain. So I've got an ECU which is in the post, so I'm just waiting for that to be delivered. It should be here by the end of the week. I'm going to plug that in and see if that fixes it. I'm hoping that'll fix it, and if not, I don't know. So if anyone's got any ideas, if anyone's, you know, had a VFR that's had this problem, or you you've just got any ideas about what it could be, that would be great. Really appreciate it. If anyone can put something in the comments, and any suggestions you can make, much appreciated. Alright, well, thanks for watching. See you later.